This lesson is patterns using board number 26, the blue pawn markers and the red pawn markers. You'll notice when you look at the board, you can see that the board has faint numbers in each of the 4 grids on the board. And they go in order from top left all the way around clockwise to the bottom. This is the most intuitive way for students to be able to follow a pattern, as generally that's the way your mind thinks to move in a clockwise direction. So let's start off here by placing a pawn in the top left corner. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a very simple pattern, and we're going to move the pawn in the top left corner to the top right corner in number 2. Then in the 3rd grid, we're going to move it to the bottom right corner. So therefore, we're going to ask students, what pattern are we creating on this board? So we've moved the pawn from the top left to the top right to the bottom right. So the pawn is moving in a clockwise direction, and the final one in this pattern is going to place right there. We'll use a blue pawn to represent the answer. So this is a very simple pattern that you can use this board for. And let's do a little bit more challenging one. We'll use 2 pawns this time, and we'll start off in the top left with a red and in the top right with a blue. And we'll carry on the same thing we did with the red pawn in the last pattern. And in addition, we'll also move the blue pawn in the same rotation. So obviously our answer in this 4th grid is going to look like this. So these are some very simple patterns that we can start off showing the students how to get used to this board and understanding the 4 grids. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a little bit more challenging pattern. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just the red component first. Obviously we can see that this is moving 1 space over for every grid. So the 4th one is going to look like this. In the 1st quadrant, I will place a blue pawn right there, and in this time I'm going to move it down 1. And then in the next one I'll move it down 1 more, and then I'll move it down 1 more. So obviously you can see as we do it individually, the pattern is very easy to see. However, some students will find this challenging if you place these 3 sets of pawns. They may not understand what's happening to each pawn. So if you look at them individually, you can see that it's very easy to see the pattern for each pawn. However, when you look at them together, it may be more challenging. So that is a hint when you're teaching the students to maybe pull them out and do them separately. This is how you use board number 26 to create and analyze patterns.